Right. So I want to give depth of meaning to this next dance so you can really understand its significance. So the dance story by Crow's Feet, based on the 75th anniversary of the Hellenic Prince, a ship which arrived in New Zealand on October 1950 with 980 displaced persons from Central, Eastern and Southern Europe. Countries like Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, Poland, Belarus, Bulgaria, Russia, Romania, Italy and Greece. While the passengers saw exotic places like Gibraltar, the Mediterranean Sea and Suez Canal, they also had to work voluntarily aboard the ships. In total, 5 sailings were commissioned by the New Zealand government between 1949 and 1952. About 5,000 displaced persons came to New Zealand. Most were traumatised by the war, but they were not brought here under a humanitarian program, but as skilled labour to fill the post-World War II New Zealand labour shortage. As skilled labour, they were not offered humanitarian or medical assistance, like the refugee Polish children, for example, who had come earlier. After 6 weeks longer in the Palmerston camp, where they learned English and about New Zealand culture, they were given 2-year contracts by the Department of Labour. It often took longer than 6 weeks to find job placements for women with children. The workers were sent to work in forestry, on the railway, hydroelectric dams or to industry. Some worked for local firms such as Oddlands. Women worked in hospitals, were cleaners at schools, worked in hotels or factories. Many of the displaced persons had never spoken English before, so it's quite a challenge after 6 weeks, just 6 weeks of English learning. At this time, New Zealand had an assimilation policy, so it was made quite clear they had to forget their cultures and blend into New Zealand society as quickly as possible. After their 2-year work contract with the government, they were free to go to other jobs, although they were still called aliens until they were granted New Zealand citizenship. As aliens, they had to register with the local police every time they wanted to leave the place where they were living, even to visit a friend or relative. Most gained citizenship after about 5 years in New Zealand. So, despite those challenges, they fulfilled the labour purpose, some rising to create major businesses in New Zealand or contributing to New Zealand's engineering, architectural design, agriculture, arts and cuisine. This was the beginning of our Italian and Greek restaurants. One of the most famous Palmerston North displaced persons who came on the Hellenic Prince with his Polish mother in 1950 is the singer and actor Mr. Lee Grant, otherwise known as Bogdan Komuniski. Palmerston North he was. He and his mother had been in a Nazi concentration camp and then when liberated were in displaced persons camps in Germany. They were among the 5,000 chosen to come to New Zealand. So Crow's Feet honours all those displaced persons tonight. This dance story is part of the Untold Stories project, which last year held an exhibition at Square Edge, created a film, published a book, on sale in the foyer at $20. So, now here is a dance story choreographed by Tanya Kapitko, whose father was a displaced person. Please welcome Crow's Feet with Voyage to a New Life.